All righty then. Hey, good morning, guys. I am meteorologist Ben Peine. I'm testing out a little microphone right here. So let me know if you're hearing me okay. I'm not too loud or I'm not too quiet. I can't really test it, but I hear myself. So we're just trying something new today here on the show. Hey, I am meteorologist Ben Peine. This has been at 10, your daily weather show for Southern Indiana, Metro Louisville, Kentucky, and the Ohio River Valley, the Ohio Valley, and beyond. So thanks for tuning in here this morning. As always, feel free to drop in a comment. Let us know where you're watching from, even if it's just a good morning. And if you have a weather question, that is what we're here for this morning as well. I'm looking live here with a look outside. It is a kind of a gloomy start to the day. We do have a lot of cloud cover around the area. We are going to keep a lot of clouds around the area for today as well, and maybe a sprinkle or two. It looks like the best chance for a sprinkle would be mainly for areas off to the east of I-65, but most areas will be dry today. It is mild. It's going to be a bit breezy. Some of the southwest winds blowing at around 10 to 20. Some gusts could be up to around 30 miles per hour as well. And again, if you're just popping in, let me know if everything is sounding okay. I'm just trying out this little podcast mic that I'd use actually to pick up my guitar back in the day, which wasn't that far back in the day. Just wanted to try it out, try something new out here this morning. For areas off to the east. Looks like it sounds all right. I was kind of testing it out there. Hope you're off to a good start this morning. And we're going to be talking about some nice weather. Actually, not bad today whatsoever, other than some cloud cover. And then we're going to see some sunshine tomorrow, temperatures in the 50s. Then a slow-moving, complicated system will arrive for late Thursday all the way into Saturday. And that's going to give us some rounds of some showers and thunderstorms. I don't think any day really necessarily Thursday, Friday, or Saturday is a washout. But we could have a few thunderstorms from time to time and some occasional rainfall as well. So we'll be talking about that system. Again, a slow mover, especially late Thursday through Saturday. Maybe some snow flurries back in that forecast for Sunday. Marydale, thank you for the confirmation there. I appreciate that. Just trying a new little microphone out this morning. For the fun of it. So, and again, if you're just tuning in, we do have some cloud cover out there. If you look out the window, you can see that as well. We might get a few of those clouds to produce a little bit of drizzle or a sprinkle. Again, the best chance for that will be for some areas off to the east of I-65 in general for today. Here's a look at our current conditions as we get started here on a Tuesday, January the 6th. And we're looking at 54 degrees, one of our warmer mornings here. And we've got a wind gust at 21 miles per hour. So it is going to be a touch on the breezier side. We have this fetch of wind from the southwest. So kind of a conveyor belt of higher dew points as well. So I looked outside, and even though we haven't had rain, the ground is actually wet a little bit damp. And we've got some moisture that is gathered from the ground being colder than the dew points above it. So it's just like if you get a cold iced tea and you start to see some little droplets on the glass or the cup. That's what we have. So we've got the ground sweating a little bit, getting a little condensation from the colder ground temperatures and the warmer air above it and the more moisture above it as well. Okay, we have Dennis Gregory with a balmy breezy Bedford. Good morning. Good walk, though. I am going to do that today. I'm going to try to get a run in today for the first time in a while. It's about time. From inspiration from Dennis Gregory there. Sounding good, 54 degrees in Hodgenville this morning. Orlean Whitlow, good morning to you. Lillian Lasley with a good morning, 54. So Lillian's temperature matching our temperature here with the Extol Media Studios. By the way, just want to mention I'll be doing a lot of shows from home here over the next week or two. We're in the process at Extol Media moving into a new building in New Albany, Indiana. So there's obviously a lot of technology, cables, microphones, cameras, all kinds of stuff, tables, chairs that we're moving. And so it takes a little while to get everything up and running. So So you'll just be with me in my house here for a week or two until we get everything settled and back up and running there. So we got a lot of exciting things happening here in the new year with not only Extol Media, Extol Weather. I'm going to be having some personal announcements as well as far as some additional career things that'll be going on. So stay tuned. Be a fun year here in 2026. We certainly hope. But as you can see, we got our brand new 7-day forecast up there. We got the most unsettled part here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I've got the brand new weather story that has been posted. If you want to check out that also includes your weather countdown, your weather jokes, your weather history, all that fun stuff right there. This is a look at our regional national weather maps. If you ever look around the country and see where there might be any watches or warnings, if you have any travel plans, there's some information for you. The big interactive map here as well that has a lot of different weather resources here. We're trying to link internet to the test here. Might get a little dropout every once in a while. But the hope is, as I mentioned before, they're starting to run fiber in our neighborhood for the first time ever. So we might have a chance. There is no cable in our neighborhood. We might have a chance at some higher speed internet. So we'll see about that. This is the cloud layer, and you can see quite a bit of cloud cover around the area. I do think this cloud layer will start to move to the east, and we'll have some clearing tonight and expecting some sunshine back across the area for tomorrow. I'm putting up the temperature layer here. Notice the green and the yellow. Much of the United States is now under a warmer weather pattern with the extreme cold retreating to the far north up toward the North Pole. And Alaska has had quite a bit of really cold weather for a while here. So we're on the milder side here through the work week. We'll start to introduce a chillier weather pattern Sunday with some flurries possible. And then we might be in that colder weather pattern for the remainder of January. The last couple of weeks of January, especially looking a bit on the colder side with some occasional, maybe some light snow. Right now, I'm not seeing any big snowstorms or anything like that for the rest of this month, perhaps, but we might get occasional light snows, some what we call some clipper systems every once in a while. It is going to be a little bit gusty today. This shows the wind gusts across the region. And so some of the wind gusts could be around 30 miles or just a little on the blustery side from occasionally. All right, Orlean Whitlow, glad to see we're not going into the deep freeze, yet I missed the sunshine this morning. I know, Orlean, not a fan of the clouds. Me either. I kind of hate how the weather can change our moods. Definitely the sunshine puts us in a better mood, but we should be seeing some more sunshine for tomorrow. So we can look forward to that. Before we get rocking and rolling here, I want to thank our sponsors here, Lyons Roofing, Lyons, roofingco.com. You can call them if you want to get an estimate, 812-294-3595, or you can just head to their website here, which they've got a beautiful revamp of their website. There you can see where you can get a quote. You can see their services that they offer, proof of their services right here. And they've got you covered on both sides of the river throughout Metro Louisville, Southern Indiana. And right here in Southern Indiana, in our backyard, Ivy Tech Community College, Sellersburg. Go click right there at ivytech.edu. Today is Tuesday. That's when I remind you there is something called Tuesdays at the Tech. That's where they encourage you. If you have any questions, you can get one-on-one information on how to pay for college, how to work with financial aid, veterans benefits, learn about student life, get that tour of their facilities, and career coaching. And if you're ready to do that, you can register for their classes. And they've got a calendar here and a lot more information right here at their Sellersburg Spotlight, where you can see they've got their spring sessions beginning very soon, January 12th. Love to hear that word spring on their calendar right there. Also want to thank my buddy here, Michael Long, for being a partner of the show as well. American Family Insurance, amfam.com. Search his name right there. You can see it on the page. And you can get a quote. You can bundle, you can save. You can use their app, you can save. You can get student discounts. So he'll help you do that, as he has with me. 812-578-3072 is the number you can call right there. Again, looking live here with a cloudy sky. I feel like with these headphones, I want to talk like I'm a radio broadcaster. Good morning on the Morning Zoo. All right, we got Mary Dale here. I say that because I can hear myself. Typically, I can't hear myself, so I'm talking in a broadcaster voice. We got Mary Dale. Got to be the serotonin we are missing. I feel it too. Yeah, the vitamin D, all that good stuff. And unfortunately, other than tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty cloudy pattern on the way. All right, cheers to you guys. I got the Bliss cup. I don't have the Grumpy Cat cup today since it's we got pretty good weather here for today. Other than some clouds, nice and mild out there in the 60s. Hey, if you ever want to get a hold of us, this is a way to do it. If you ever have a weather question, you just want to reach out as well, Ben at extolmag.com, and I'll see your email right there. If you want to learn about marketing advertising solutions, as we've been reaching millions of people each month on our platforms, Extol Weather, Extol Media, throughout Southern Indiana and beyond, you can reach us about advertising and marketing solutions right there as well. All right, so our weather headlines today for your January the 6th. Low 60s today, cloudy, might get a couple sprinkles from time to time, but most areas will be dry. Again, we got a little bit of that ground sweat out there, meaning we have the ground temperatures that are chillier than the dew point temperatures that have been moving in. So we got some moist air moving in from the southwest that has allowed a little condensation, kind of like just a kind of a damp, dewy kind of condition on some of the roadways this morning. Not from rain, but actually just from the differential temperatures. Okay, so then we have some rain chances late Thursday through Saturday. There might actually be a decent amount of a dry time Thursday as that warm front lifts to the area. We're talking 60s, 20 degrees above normal for this time of the year for our Thursday and Friday. And then we'll start to cool down through the weekend, and I'll get my face out of the way, and you'll see we'll have a chance for some flurries on Sunday. The GFS a little more aggressive with those flurries Sunday than it looks like the Euro and the Canadian weather model, but we'll fine-tune that forecast as we get closer. Our countdown continues. The average coldest temperature is around 10 days away. And I really do think that around that time, we will start to lock into a colder pattern that could continue for the rest of January, meaning a northwest flow over the region. So we're getting that source coming in from Canada, giving us some below normal temperatures and maybe some occasional light snow chances too. That pattern beginning next week and possibly continuing for at least a few weeks. Our high temperatures on average go back into the 50s in about 45 days. That's about February 20th. The time change in 61 days, that is March 8th, when we start to get closer to those 8 p.m. sunsets, and then spring in 72 days. A lot of us looking forward to the March 20th, the vernal equinox, equal day, equal night. A lot of weather history here for today. Let me see if I can read it since there's so much of it. 1839, night of the big wind in Ireland. Winds of 115 miles per hour, thousands of homes damaged, at least 90 deaths. Way back in the day. 1886, the great blizzard of the Midwest. High winds, sub-zero temps, heavy snow, estimated 75 to 80% of the cattle killed in Kansas counties. 1988, major snowstorm over the southern United States, January 5th through the 8th. A foot of snow in Kansas to Arkansas. Little Rock received 10 inches on the 6th. 1993, a 6-day snowstorm in Salt Lake City, 31 inches of snow. 1996, the Great Furlough Storm, a nor'easter, January 6th through the 8th in 1996, paralyzed the region during a government shutdown. The snowfall, 47 inches, 30 inches in Newark, 27 in D.C. And then in 2006, Tropical Storm Zeta dissipates, formed in December 29th, ended in the 2005 season. Oh, and went 2 different calendar years. So that only happened one other time with Alice. That went 1954 to 1955. Rare to have a tropical system this time of the year. Okay, in 2018, Indianapolis deep freeze. So that was, I was going to say 7 years ago, but now that's, 8 years ago since we're in 2016 now? Indianapolis reaches 12 consecutive days of not exceeding 20 degrees. All right, our stupid weather jokes of the day. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. What do you call cheese that isn't yours? This is an easy one. Nacho cheese. Nacho cheese. What is a guitar player's favorite food? I'm a guitar player. Stromboli. I like it. We had a food-related stupid weather jokes for today. Strumming the Stromboli. All right, for our Tuesday, January 6th, a high of 62 for today. Cloudy and breezy, couple sprinkles possible. Southwest winds at around 15 to 30. I think most of the winds will be 10 to 20. Could have some gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour. And Marydale, didn't we receive several inches of snow this time last year? We did. My kids were out of school for like a week. That was very memorable for us in this neighborhood here because we did not get plows out in this part of the neighborhood. And we were literally stuck for a few days. We got cars stuck. We had our SUV that I tried to get up the road to get out of the neighborhood, and it slid with nobody in it because I got out because it got stuck, and then it slid by itself backwards all the way down the hill. So that was fun to be snowed in for a few days here. That was a good one this time last year. You're right. So Orleans saying some good jokes for today. Lillian loving the jokes. Thank you very much. And heading back to the forecast here, our sunset at 5:38 tonight. Partly cloudy, a little bit cooler than last night. Of course, last night was only upper 40s and 50s. Start off in the 50s this morning. So 42, our low tonight. West wind at around 5 to 10. So the winds will calm down tonight. And a good looking, wonderful Wednesday here for us. Chris Marlin, I think I've been playing the stromboli a little too much. I wish I finally picked up the guitar yesterday, but it's been, I feel bad that the acoustic, which I have in the kitchen at all times, has been sitting in the corner. I haven't had many band nights up in the cabin here recently as well. So feel bad for the old guitar. It's been a little bit lonely here lately. You get busy, you get uninspired artistically for a while, but we'll get back to it. It's always there. All right, here's the forecast. Tomorrow, some sunshine and temperatures just a tad bit cooler than today, but very pleasant and more than 10 degrees above normal, as we'll have highs in the 50s. And the winds will be lighter tomorrow, coming in from the west at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So not a big deal there. And so looking good Wednesday. And then here's our Thursday. We'll look at this with the weather model data here in just a second. Usually around 10:20, we'll start to dig deep, dive deep into the weather models. If you want to hang around for that, we get extra weather nerdy with that and look at the data, which will time out some of the rain here for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What I want you to see, even though it looks real gloomy and crazy there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there are going to be some breaks. It's not going to be a washout, and we might be looking at around an inch of rainfall. I feel like I hear myself distorting just a little bit, turning it down just a hair. All right. Okay. And so we've got a good 40% chance of some showers Thursday, but I think the rain chances are going to be a bit higher out to our west Thursday. I think a decent amount of dry time Thursday. Warm front lifts to the north. It's going to be Thursday night during the overnight into Friday morning. We might have a little round of some gusty showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder that move through. Low severe weather threat with that. It looks like the higher severe weather threat with that situation is going to be like southeastern Missouri, western Kentucky. And then some occasional rain showers Friday. And then we might get a wave that comes in late Friday, Saturday as a slow-moving front moves through the area. Might get a few thunderstorms Saturday morning. And again, not expecting severe weather with that, but some gusty winds possible. Should trend a bit drier Saturday afternoon. Kind of a gloomy weekend. I think we're going to have a lot of clouds around. Chris Marlin saying, I can feel that. Appreciate that. We're not always super inspired. Man, there are times where I can't put the guitar down, but it's weird how that happens. Okay. Some flurries possible Sunday. We should see that with the GFS weather model here coming up in a second too. And then looks pretty quiet Monday, Tuesday, and seasonably chilly. Our highs in the 40s there Monday, Tuesday, lows around freezing. We have Sue Shively in here. Thank you for the weather history. Have a blessed day. Yeah, I love to show that. It just kind of shows you throughout even, a lot of the weather history was started in the 1800s. When our society started to make more organized weather observations. So it is cool to see all the crazy weather that has happened on each date for a long time here. It reminds us that the weather's always going to be occasionally really wild and crazy. Okay, that is the 7-day forecast. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the weather model data now. Oops, and I need to get rid of this real quick. I've got it on the wrong page here. Just 1 second. Bear with me. as I move something over here. There we go. All right. Let me get rid of this and add this. Just changing sources here. There we go. Now we're rocking and rolling. Speaking of guitar, we're rocking and rolling. I'm testing out this microphone this morning, so I feel like a DJ. It's yeah, it's I tend to listen. My go-to is 95.7 WQMF, but a lot of times it's this day and age we're listening to a lot of podcasts these days. All right, anyway, enough about my listening choices in the car. Here you can see the cloud cover across the area. And we've got a clearing sky out to the west. We've got a system off to the north with a little bit of a mix over the Great Lakes. So that's kind of the current situation around the region. Let me bring up the weather model data. We'll take a quick peek at what is likely just a couple sprinkles, little spritz that might come down from time to time today, especially for areas east of I-65, but most areas will be dry today. I do think it is interesting when we get, a few cold days, and then you get this warm belt of air that comes over us like today. The dew points are higher than when the dew points are higher than the ground temperatures. Sometimes you can get kind of the dew, that condensation on the road surfaces. That's kind of what we've seen I've seen out there this morning. All right, now we're diving deep here. 1021 into the weather models. We are on the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. And we're looking for a potential sprinkle chance. Now, you're going to have to get the microscope out here because you can barely see it, but it shows just a tiny bit of green on the screen, indicating the sprinkle chance mainly, again, along and east of I-65. This is around noon today. And then there you can see that gradually kind of sliding to the east. So that's about it. Not much in the precipitation department for today. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and jump to the GFS weather model as we time out this slow-moving system that'll move in for late Thursday through Saturday. There's kind of something I want to see here first. Let's bring up the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook, and this would be day 3, I believe. This is the severe weather outlook for Thursday. You can see it's just a marginal risk. That's 1 out of 5, and that is far western Kentucky. The light green just means a non-severe thunderstorm. Then that we're in the light green. That's level 0 out of 5 in the severe weather risk categories. And even where we have the dark green, 1 out of 5, that's still a low risk of severe weather. Day 4 would be Friday, and that severe potential is down over western Tennessee and Mississippi. So basically with this, just want to show you that anytime there's severe weather around, even a super small severe weather chance around the region, the social medias go crazy. And part of my job that I want with this show is to just take it down a notch, back to reality, because a lot of the stuff that you see floating around the internet is just, obviously we've heard the term clickbait, but just fear mongering gets people to check things out that are on the feed, on the social media feed. So this doesn't look like a big deal to me for our area, or even some of those areas off to the southwest. They might get a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. It doesn't look like a crazy thing here for us. With that said, let's get to the weather models. And I'll bring up the GFS weather model. Oh, yeah, Mary Dale saw some of the dew on the road this morning. Yeah, no rain, just condensation, just like if you had a full glass ice water outside on a humid day, you'd get a little dew on your glass, and that's the same kind of thing. We got the ground temperature and you get the dew point the same, you'll get a little dew. All right. Again, firing up the GFS weather model, we're going to go ahead and go to the 8th, which is our Thursday. We'll see a system developing off to our west right there. And again, it's going to be a slow mover. We're going to go to 1 p.m. So it looks like so far, areas west of I-65, best chance for a few showers Thursday afternoon. Notice drier to the east. So I've got like a 40% chance of a shower going for Thursday. I think a decent amount of dry time, though. Going into 4 p.m. Thursday, most of the rain off to the north, closer to the center of the low pressure, or to the north along the warm front. Speaking of warm, bringing up the temperature map here for our Thursday. And there you can see in the 60s. North of the front, if you're in like northern Indiana and Michigan, in the 40s. So we're on the warm side of the front for Thursday and for Friday. We'll go back to the precipitation with our future weather models here. Now we're going into Thursday evening. So this is a line of some gusty rain showers. There is a lot of wind energy. I'll bring up the 850 millibar winds. This is at around 5,000 feet above ground level. And they're screaming. Check this out. 60, 70 plus mile per hour winds at 5,000 feet Thursday night. So we call this an overly sheared event, meaning the wind is a lot stronger than the fuel for the storms. So typically the thunderstorms won't be very strong, but you can get some gusty winds. So very strong winds in the atmosphere with this low level jet across the region. And we'll go back to the rain. So there we go. Here's the rain at the surface. We just look at the winds just a little bit above at 5,000 feet. And we can actually look at the wind at kind of the middle deck, the jets out to our west. And it shows winds here up around 100 miles per hour. So very strong winds aloft. And a lot of times around storm systems, you're going to get strong winds aloft. Back to the precipitation we go, going into our overnight Thursday, some gusty showers. Here's this line of showers Friday morning at 7 a.m. And thankfully, we're looking at maybe like an inch of rainfall total late Thursday through Saturday morning. So we're not looking at any significant flooding issues with this. We should be able to soak that up just fine. The front kind of just meandering off to the east here. This is Friday at 10 a.m. So again, not washout. We might get some breaks here. And if this settles southeast of us Friday afternoon, we might have a decent break Friday afternoon with some mild temperatures. You can see that rain at 4 p.m. Friday off to our south right now here with the GFS weather model. And we stay on the warm side here in the 60s, 50s and 60s across the area here for our Friday. So the cold front won't actually move through until early Saturday, and that'll drop us to the 30s for highs Sunday, maybe a couple flurries with that. I'm jumping around here. I'm heading back to precipitation, leaving our temperatures. And then it looks like a wave will ride along the front, heading into Friday evening. This is 7 p.m. And then notice some wet weather returning. Another round of some showers and possibly a few thunderstorms. This is 1 a.m. Saturday morning, 4 a.m. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So right now it's trying to put a bullseye of some heavier rain south of the Bluegrass Parkway. This is 10 a.m. Saturday. Still some light precipitation around for probably a good chunk of the day Saturday. Just kind of gloomy out there. And this is Saturday night, 10 p.m. Now I want to go ahead and go to precipitation type as some chillier air begins to drop in on the backside of this system. As we head into our Sunday morning, we might be able to see some of this cold air catch up to this slow mover and switch us over to a period of some flurries. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little bit of white, a little bit of blue that shows up. That indicates that flurry potential on Sunday. And again, I will say the GFS has been a little more aggressive with the flurry chance than the European weather model with the latest update, but that kind of flip-flopped from earlier this week. Either way, that here, I wish that showed up a little bit better, but you can see kind of a translucent white. That indicates some light snow potential. This is 4 p.m. Sunday. So those of you who have been missing the snowfall, we might have a little bit of a chance of that Sunday. I don't think that'll cause any problems with above freezing temperatures. We can bring up the temperature map here for Sunday afternoon. And it's going to be a chilly one as temperatures have dropped. And what's interesting, this could be the beginning of a long-lasting colder weather pattern, maybe just kind of the return of winter-like temperatures across the region. Not extreme, though. The extreme cold is locked up way to the north, over the North Pole and over Alaska. And we can go over here to Siberia. That's where it's really, really cold. That's where you can enjoy some minus 50s up in northeastern Russia and Siberia. That's where it's a little bit worse. All right, let's head back over the Bering Strait, over Alaska, Canada, and back home to the continental United States. So from here, let's go ahead and go in the long range and look for potential bouts of cold spells here. And then that'll be the long range outlook. Marceline Wilson. Good morning. Been overcast in French Lick. Yeah, I know. Very, very gloomy start to the day so far here this morning. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to go day by day. This is the 11th, which is what, our Sunday. So we're going to go about 384 hours out. And I'm going to stop it here on the 12th. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, like all these colors are kind of normal chill. Okay, like blue is kind of normal here for us. What I'm looking for is if any of that is going to try to head our way. The polar vortex, as the media tries to scare you with sometimes. Okay, going into the 14th, the 13th, which is Tuesday. And that cold air drops a little bit farther south, but still north of the U.S.-Canada border. Going into the 14th. So that is next Wednesday. It's still to the north. We're still looking at pretty normal temperatures. I'm going into the 15th, which I believe is a Thursday. No big deal there. Going into the 17th, which I guess is a Friday. Now we're starting to see some of that colder air trying to drop a little bit closer. Going into the 18th. I have no idea what January 18th day is. Let me check my calendar. So 18th would be a Saturday. A couple Saturdays from now. And the cold air is still mainly on the border. And we go to the 19th. Really cold air along the border. We're playing the middle ground here with some chilly temperatures, but not extreme. And just out of curiosity's sake, I was going to bring up the 500 millibar winds, kind of getting up into the jet stream layer. And so this is why we're not getting the extreme cold. Let's do a quick analysis here. You've got the cold air north of the jet stream. So this is all very cold. And the jet stream comes down to here. You've got a subtropical jet here over the deep south, the polar jet north. We are, again, right in the middle ground. And so that would be near or maybe a little bit below normal temperatures. But what we would need to happen for winter to really take hold is or I would say extreme cold, a bigger dive in the jet stream. So, with that said, while it will get chillier this month, January might behave for a while. This is the 20th. Let me go back to our temperature map. Excuse me. And the cold air is still locked. The really cold air is still locked to the north. I am now going to the latter stages of the GFS weather model to the 21st of January. I mean, a lot of cold air is bottled up to the north. These are all negative numbers in that like bluish gray color. That's all negative. Net loaded back. There we go. Had a good little Starlink internet dropout there. So thanks for sticking with us. Mary Dale, I so appreciate the fact that you do not do the fear mongery clickbait thing. Don't want to waste your time with it. Alice Young, good morning. Thanks for tuning in here. All right, let's bring this back up. This is as far out as the GFS weather model wants to go. And what we see here, really cold in Canada. And we're kind of normal here. After once that chillier air works in, we get kind of near normal January temperatures starting this Sunday. That could take us through the rest of the month. But I'm not seeing the jet helping to dive down and bring down the Arctic air. So kind of normal, kind of a normal January. We'll see. Will that set the stage for a super cold February? We'll see. We can have some good, solid outbreaks of cold air and snow in the month of February. And with this general normal northwest flow, it will likely be cold enough for some snow chances, but it's coming in from a drier source and not seeing any big storms, just kind of little clipper systems. So we might get some light snow chances on occasion for the rest of this month. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And since that has been the long range outlook, that has been and on a limb, going out on a limb there. Be nice to get back to shorts and t-shirt weather, climbing trees and shorts and t-shirts. All right. I'm going to pop up the climate prediction centers 6 to 10 day outlook, which is influenced by above normal temperatures in the beginning. I think it's just going to show kind of near normal temperatures. Yeah, it's just got us pretty near normal. Averaging that out, and then I'm going to go to the 8 to 14 day outlook, which I think is probably going to be near normal as well. We're not seeing any big blues on the screen here, which would indicate far below normal temperatures. And so that shows near normal temperatures as well. So nothing exciting with the climate prediction. We dropped out again there for a second. I apologize for the Starlink internet. I am going to bring back our forecast recap here for us with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera behind me there. Showing the gloomy conditions this morning. Orlean, hoping the cold stays to the north. Yeah, the extreme cold will. With that said, we will be getting chillier. And Chris Marlin, so far my knees are in agreement with your forecast. I'm feeling my knees too a little bit. I took a break from lifting and running, and I can tell because the joints get weaker and more painful when you're not strengthening them. So that's going to inspire me to get outside in this mild weather today and take a jog and get back at it here in the new year. That's the goal here. Get back on the healthier train. All right, let's bring up the forecast. So for you guys that have tuned in a little bit later, here's what we've been talking about. Low 60s today, cloudy skies, maybe a couple sprinkles, especially along and east of I-65. Rain chances, especially late Thursday through Saturday. It's going to be kind of off and on. I don't think we're going to have a washout any day. A decent amount of dry time Thursday. We might see a front move south of us Friday afternoon. That could leave us with some dry time, but some rounds of some showers and thunderstorms during that period. Any severe weather threat looks very low for our area, a bit higher off to the southwest of us. And then we might pick up some flurries on Sunday as we have highs in the 30s. Our countdown here, average coldest temperatures of the year typically happen around January 16th. Around that time period, mid to late January is typically the coldest part of the year, and it will be chillier around that time. Average highs in the 50s around February 20th, so 45 days away. And then the time change in 61 days, that's March 8th, springing forward an hour toward closer to 8 p.m. sunsets in springtime in 72 days. Our weather history here for today, there's a bunch of it. I'm going to have this on my Facebook page at noon. It's already on our weather story at extolmag.com/weather. You can take a longer look at that there, or you can watch our replay where we went through this for a longer period of time. Stupid weather jokes today are food related. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. What do you call a cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. I used to go to a restaurant in Augusta, Georgia called Nacho Mama's. They had some good burritos down there. Anybody heard of that? What is a guitar player's favorite food? As Chris Marlin said, stromboli. Chris Marlin, an amazing guitarist here locally. Today's forecast. You got any shows, Chris? You playing anywhere live that we can talk about? Today's forecast, Tuesday, January 6th, mostly cloudy, 62 degrees, a bit breezy out there. Southwest winds around 10 to 20, some gusts 20 to 30, and a couple sprinkles out there. And tonight, partly cloudy, 42 degrees, our low temperature, not cold for this time of the year. Normally, we're down in the upper 20s. Those are average low temperatures, so we're well above that. In our forecast here for your Wednesday, a wonderful Wednesday, January 7th, with some sunshine. Chris Marlin, no shows right now, working on something, though. Get back after it. 52 at noon, 56 for tomorrow afternoon, mid to upper 50s for our Wednesday with some sunshine. And the winds will be lighter tomorrow. Orlean, thank you. I hope it goes well. We're going to test out the lungs. Here's the 7-day forecast. We've got a good day tomorrow, 64. Hey, nice temperatures Thursday, Friday. And again, not a washout here. I think there's a decent amount of dry time Thursday, but 40% chance of a shower there. And then Thursday night into Friday morning, around to some gusty showers, some rumbles of thunder. Could have some gusty winds with those showers. We've had a couple of events similar in December where we had, kind of a thin line of showers move through that did pack some gusty winds. Severe weather threats low, though. We might get a break Friday afternoon and then some more rain Friday night into Saturday, and kind of off and on light rain Saturday, dropping to 52, and then some colder air punches in Saturday night, and we're looking at 30s for highs and maybe a few flurries on Sunday, and then pretty quiet weather Monday and Tuesday. Lily and Lasley, you have a great day as well. Saying hi to my dogs, Annie, Skeeter, and Desi. And the cat's been roaming around here, Mr. Purrington. Or I keep getting corrected. I've had this cat for like 10 years. And my kids named it Purrington, and they call it Mr. P. So if I call him Mr. Purrington, I'm wrong. It's actually just Purrington, but you can call him Mr. P. I just call him Kitty. Get out of here, Kitty. All right, let me get rid of that. And we're going to bring up, excuse me, bring him back to the stage is our extolmag.com/weather website. Just want to show you all the weather resources that you have at your fingertips. We've got our live show up right now. We've got interactive maps. They've got dozens of weather layers that you can play around with. Extol Media Studio temperature 56 degrees. Wind gust at 20. And so feeling good out there. One of our warmer mornings. So not far to go to get to the low 60s today. And a lot of different weather variables that you can check out there. By the way, you got your daily weather forecast here on the right side. That takes you, over the next 7 or 8 days. Hourly forecast. And then down below, we've got my daily weather story. If you click on that, it'll bring up some weather maps, the weather history, the weather jokes, the weather countdown, your regional and national weather watches and warnings, and regional radar. This is an interactive map where you just kind of scroll around. And again, you can bring up dozens of weather layers right here. You can look at the rain and thunder. You hit play in the bottom left-hand corner. It'll bring up your future cast. And then if you just click on a point and click down on this arrow, it'll bring up what we call a meteogram, an hour by hour, basically outlook here over the next several. That's all the way through Sunday. And you see cloud cover, you can see temperatures, dew points, winds. A lot of good stuff there. And then this is another interactive map with area temperatures in the 50s. Get your wind directions. You don't have any watches or warnings or anything if you ever need that. But again, all these resources anytime at extolmag.com. extolmag/weather. All right, there we go. Hey, one more time, I want to thank our partners here at Lions Roofing. Or that's right where I'm at right here at lionsroofingco.com. Get free quotes here online. You can call 812-294-3595. They are protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, that being your home. And you can scroll down like I'm doing right now and check out their services. Of course, roofing, re-roofing, leak repair, metal roofing, new construction, commercial roofing, gutters and downspouts. Not only in southern Indiana, they got you covered in Kentucky as well. You can see their ratings, reviews, some of their past jobs here. You can go to Lions Roofing on Facebook and see a lot of their drone footage of some recent jobs too. Can you roof a house in the winter? You can see their blogs here as well. Very cool stuff. And I want to remind you, today is Tuesday, so that reminds me to tell you about Tuesdays at the Tech. If you have a high schooler, or maybe you're my age, middle age, you want a career change, they're going to meet you where you're at. You belong here at Millersburg campus, Highway 311 at I-65, 9 miles north of Louisville. Click on Tuesdays at the Tech. This is where you get one-on-one help for registering for classes, getting a tour of their facilities, learning how to pay for it, get career coaching, because they have dozens of programs for you. You click on, say it's automotive technology. You can see their median starting salaries and what it takes. They've got an amazing nursing program there as well. So check it out. Shout out to my buddy Michael Long, too, my insurance agent, my mom's insurance agent. Proud to be an American Star certified agency. Excellence in customer experience. You can call 812-578-3072. You can get bundled up and save some cash. They've had price reductions in their auto renewals. If you want to get a quote, let them know that I sent you here, or you can just go to amfam.com, search Michael Long. It'll take you to his landing page there. Appreciate our partners here allowing us to do what we do on the show. And again, this is the fallstheohio.org cam, showing you the conditions there along the waterfront. All right, I appreciate easy for me to say. I appreciate you guys for tuning in here this morning. Trying out the new microphone. I'm going to see if it actually sounds better than the other one as I watch the replay. If you're watching the replay, thank you very much for tuning in here this morning. Feel free to drop in the comments, say hello, or ask a weather question. Thanks for liking or sharing. Even just hitting that like button helps spread it over the internet, over social media. Thanks for watching, whether it's on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine, or Extol Weather, EXTOL Weather on Facebook. extolmag.com/weather and Extol Media on the YouTube. So there's where you can find me on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a good day, and we'll continue to fine-tune the slow-moving system for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe some flurries on Sunday, and we'll have your long-range outlook as always as well. Do we have a last comment popping in? We do. Mary Dale's we're gonna leave it with you there. Bye. We'll see you.